Hi, you're looking at my little video here. I'm going to document how to take apart one of these. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you have a 3/8 fuel line going to a 3.8 liter GM motor, and you have a problem with an O-ring link. This is going to be one of the O-rings you'll probably find. This one was damaged. This is the first O-ring. And this is the bottom fuel O-ring in your 3/8 fuel line. Take apart, you're going to initially start with this. This is what's holding it on. You're going to squeeze this, pull this off, and you're going to want to use a pick tool. This is a generic pick tool set I just bought from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to use this to take apart one. If you're looking for an exact replacement, this is the part number I bought from my local Napa store. And the reason you would buy an exact replacement is you're going to see other videos where guys come up with generic O-ring sets. And I found the problem with that is it's trouble trying to find an exact O-ring size for one of these. You're going to have two of them in one of these connectors. But if you go with an exact replacement, you will get the exact parts. So okay, we're going to take the part, our pick set. Alright. To do this, usually this is the type of pick tool you're going to want to use. This will work the best trying to get underneath your plastic spacer here. This is what holds it together. You'd want to use this kind of pick tool to try to get the O-rings out. But I found from experience this will scratch up the inside diameter when you're trying to get this out because you're most likely going to slip. With the C-hook, it'll work a lot better. So let's just work the brand new one, never touched. Alright, you're going to squeeze your fingers, move the plastic clip out. Now it's difficult to see in there, but if you look on a brand new one, there's a yellow O-ring, a white spacer, and a red O-ring at the bottom. And the fourth component is what's holding it all together is this plastic spacer here. You need to remove this, get that white plastic spacer out. If you don't remove this, you will end up damaging and destroying that white spacer in there, and that's the most important part of your fuel connection. So let's take this C-clamp. You're going to find there is no crap. So, alright, in an ideal world, you would use this C-clamp to get in, C-hook to get in there. Unfortunately, you can't really get in there. So what I found from experience, you want to use this kind of pick tool to get in there. And there is no good way to get in there. There's no one spot. You're just going to go all the way around. Try to pry up. And you will see why people kind of skip this part when they're showing to replace the O-ring, because it never goes pretty, at least from my experience. Main important thing when you're prying up, make sure you're on the plastic spacer, not the O-ring. Try not to damage that. You will find when you're trying this, you want to work on the new one because you don't want to work on your 20-year-old fuel line and then find out it's not going well. At least with this, if you have a slip up, it's no big deal. The old one. So I'm guilty. I'm not filming myself removing this. As like I tried to explain earlier, there is no one spot you pry on. You're going all the way around, trying to pry upward, try to get this to want to come up to get it out. So now But I've got that plastic spacer out. Now you have access to your O-ring and spacers. So I'm going to show you with this tool. We're going to take one at a time. I'm going to start with the yellow O-ring. That's the first one. Now this is just something I'm doing. I am using a 5/32 deep socket, trying to make sure I keep assembly correct. So, all right. This is the plastic spacer goes on first. Then the yellow O-ring. Now this is the important one. The white spacer. And again, it's kind of like prying this black spacer out. There is no one spot you pry. Go all the way around. That's what you want out of here. This is the most important part. Might come back to this. Yeah, that works better. There we go. Like I said, it's most important you get that black spacer out to get this part out. Because if you try prying this out without taking this out, you will bend, distort this, and then basically this is worthless to you. So, alright. And then finally, this is the one at the bottom. In an ideal world, you wouldn't have pried this all apart. You would have just taken this and put this on your old fuel line. Unfortunately, the ways these are designed, these barbs, these are designed for one-time use. So any plans you have of trying to remove the old one and putting the new one on, that's not going to happen. You basically have one of two options then. If you buy this, is you buy a brand new fuel line to make your own custom line, which is easier said than done. Or you're going to splice it, and again, that'll be a consequence. More likely you won't be able to put your engine cover back on. Buying a dual set of these and being able to get all four components out to put in your old fuel line will probably be the most easiest solution to get to make sure you have an exact fit and exact replacement for your old fuel line.